Awesome. Well, I'm Az. Hey, everyone, and thanks for having us. I'm from Gutterfire.
I'm Kev, also from Gutterfire. Brisbane band, been going about 5 years now. Currently about to join Forest on their tour and wrapping up our first album cycle.
Beautiful, boys. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us, Kris.
No,
really glad to join you. Okay.
Shit, yeah, mate. It's been long overdue. So Gutterfire have actually got a fair bit going on at the moment. So we're going to start off with Rock Beats Depression, which will be held at the Mansfield Tavern on September 16th. Like, just by virtue of the name alone, it's a great gig for a great cause, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done it every year since I don't know if it's since it started, but since very early on, and
definitely since we started. So
yeah, and it's we love Katie, the organizer, and it's a really good cause, and everyone who plays the show really gets behind it for that reason, basically.
So what does it actually mean to you personally to be involved with something like that?
Everyone, this is the band to be in if you struggle a bit with mental health. Personally, I'm autistic and ADHD, so it's close to my heart. And I sort of work in that field as well for advocacy for that kind of stuff. But mental health in general, I mean, it's really cool how since I was a kid, I've seen the conversation change and become more open, and people are okay with talking about it. Now, I remember when I was a kid, people questioning whether or not depression even existed as a thing, So seeing, a nice big festival like that, really just raising money towards awareness and research is pretty awesome and very different from when I was a kid.
Yeah, definitely. There's a ton of bands playing, including yourselves. There's Dreamkillers, Black Whiskey, Goatzilla, Tailor-Made Rejects, Crave, just to name a few. But who are you guys most looking forward to playing with and or seeing on the day?
Well, we've kicked around with Dreamkillers a bit. They were blasting out of my bedroom when I was a teenager, and it's been nice sort of being able to play with them. I've heard really good things about Hippo. I can't wait to see them. Crave, we've played around with quite a bit as well. So, and it's really sort of that family vibe there too. The bands who play there tend to want to support that gig ongoing. So it's kind of a little bit like a family reunion each year when we go back there.
I'm really keen to see Tailor-Made Rejects. I find Tailor-Made Rejects just always bring it, and I'm always quite surprised with their set. They're very upbeat and really cool.
Yeah, they are good, those guys. Yeah. It's a bit of interesting trivia for you. Like, Dreamkillers were actually the first band I ever saw live back in the day. Like, I used to go to school with their original drummer out of a place called Lowood, up towards Toowoomba. So
right.
A history with all of us.
Yeah, first time I saw them was when I was 15 at a local community hall in Logan somewhere. It was it was a bit life-changing.
Yeah, of course, like events like this aren't totally fun-driven, of course, either. Like, I think the awareness generated is just as important sometimes as the money raised, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Again, like I said, I'm big into the advocacy side of mental health, and even to my own embarrassment, sometimes I'm quite open about it. But I really think that open conversation, I know from people who approach me about being open about it with their own issues, it's huge. Awareness is almost, well, not as huge, but almost as huge as raising funds for actual research and support and whatnot.
I think it's a misconception too that like people look at musos and they're up there on stage, like they look like they haven't got a care in the world, but it's surprising the amount of even like top international musos I speak with that suffer from depression or anxiety or mental health. Like, it's important to note that just because someone's up there and they look like they're okay doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going on inside.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's totally true. And I think probably more people than not are having issues with mental health from time to time, and it's something that everyone's dealing with. So I look, as a musician, you're up on stage, and that's probably that's your time to shine up in the lights and everything. But there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. and there's so much hard work that everyone puts in. It's really challenging, and so much else in life that everyone's balancing as well.
Yeah.
So before that, you guys have got shows in Redcliffe, Brisbane, and Ipswich on August 31st, September 1st, and September 2nd, with your good mates Forrest, who've come all the way down from Cairns. Like, how do you know those guys?
Well, we've known them for quite a while. They've helped us out with a couple of tours up to North Queensland. We played quite a lot of shows with them up and down the coast. We just get along really well. They come down here and hang out. We go up there and hang out, and it's just a really good time. We find our bands complement each other really well too. And they're just good dudes, and we just love their music. And that's really probably all there is to it.
Yeah, I remember them and Exotic Potion Cookies were also coming down with them before we first went up to Far North Queensland. Az was hitting me up, being like, "Oi, I've checked out these bands, and you've got to have a listen." And we did. We had a couple of beers and had a listen to them, and yeah, we just dug them immediately. And then when we met them, both bands, we just just clicked with them right away.
Yeah. You tend to find with bands you either click straight away or it's a bit hard, and with those two bands it's just been really easy to get along, and just it's not work, it's really just we have great times. So.
Yeah.
And of course,
just like getting paid, hopefully, to hang out with our friends, basically.
And you could probably do a bit of band swapping as well, like you, Kevin, and Pete from Forest, like pretty much your twins. Like, do you ever sort of jump up and take each other's place on stage and see if anyone notices?
We've yet to sing together, but I did definitely jump up on stage with them at least once for a photo op, and we'd like to take photos together and play on that with our socials.
I think a collab.
Who's taller?
Me, actually, which is not common. But I get to be the taller one in that situation.
I think there'd only be a hair in it.
Oh yeah,
don't you think?
Well, no, maybe no hair in it, maybe a beard hair.
A pubic hair here or
That's a bit of a pun, I'm sorry.
Out of those 3 gigs that you're playing, one of them, the Thursday night on August the 31st, is at a place in Redcliffe called Tribe Clubhouse, which is only a bit of a new live music venue. So we're trying to get more people down there, but tell us a bit about that for people in the area that haven't heard of it.
Well, I just had a little sea change and moved to Redcliffe from after living in a city for years and years and years. And it took a little adjustment, but the whole point of Tribe is it's a social it's a place for people to be social if you're feeling a little isolated or whatever. And most of the time it's not like a nighttime bar live music venue, but they do that on weekends and some other nights, like the Thursday night next week. And it's all about social belonging. And the guy who founded it wanted that. He unfortunately lost his son years ago and needed to feel a part of the community and meet friends. And all the people I've met there, they really value that place. And so it's a little bit more than just your average venue. It's a really cool community vibe there.
Yeah, I was just going to add, it is really about the Redcliffe community, and we've done one show there before with Violet for the Grunge tour, and we just really gelled with that idea, that it's very community focused, very supportive of the local people in the community, and just that rung true with us. They're just really nice people. It's run really well. It's a nice small little venue, and we just love doing those sorts of shows. So it's a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, and probably worth pointing out too, it's all ages. If anyone wants to bring their kids, we got a couple of fans coming along with their kids.
Very good. Then on September 30, you guys have got another benefit gig when you played High Kicks Forever Cancer Research Fundraiser. So tell us a bit about that.
Az could probably fill you in a little bit on that, the history there.
Yeah, so we know the Glycerines really well. We're good friends. We went on a tour with them recently up and down the East Coast, and knew Nath a little bit, and just the cause of cancer research is really important, and yeah, I mean, again, that's just it's just something that we wanted to get involved with, and just to help out. And well, I think Kev, you and I went along last year, and
Yeah.
just to see, the event, and just the vibe, and how well it. Yeah, the amount of love. That's really what I'm thinking of there. And we got asked to get involved, and we just of course said yes. It's just such an important thing. So yeah.
I've actually got to say kudos to you guys too, man. Like, you guys play a lot of charity or benefit gigs for a whole host of different things, guys. And yeah, you guys always put your hands up, and you're always there. So got to say that it's good to see, mate. It's noticed by a lot of people in the community, guys, and you do your bit well.
Yeah, thanks. We don't, we don't want to, we're not Rage Against the Machine. We're not the Sex Pistols, but we care about a lot of things, and we want to be seen to care about the things and publicly support those things. And that is a large part of our identity as individual people, and which kind of makes it part of our identity as a band. We really want to get behind good causes and promote awareness and stuff with anything that we feel is worth it.
Yeah, Gutterfire have pretty much been touring ever since you released your debut album Chill in March of last year. Yeah. Have you made many friends along the way? You've been everywhere.
Yeah, well, actually, we released it. It was September 21. It's so it's so weird, because it all the years have melded in together across that time. And we actually did that show. Our launch show was with 6 Foot Hick, and that was just such an amazing show. And yeah, it's only 2 years ago, and we've just, because of all the cancellations and challenges and dramas, we've just gone, let's just keep touring this thing. And we never could do a proper full East Coast tour, so that's why we did that early this year, because we could finally do one. And now it's time to put it to bed. It's now we're working on the new one. So we got a lot of new songs written. I think we're up to probably about 6 or 7 completed, and probably about another 10 ideas. And so we want to get in and do that as soon as possible next year.
Before we get on to talking about the new stuff, I just want to bring up, like, for those who haven't seen the album, like, it predominantly features a massive fucking chicken on the cover. Like, I reckon you guys, like, marketing coup of the year, like, it was a great strategy. It's like, was it something that you sat down and thought about and intended to be a marketing tool, or does one of you just like?
No, it just kind of came about.
Yeah, I think it's been around for a while, and actually it's the Doomcock, but the idea had been floating for a bit, and we had a few people kind of have a bit of a go at it, and then we had a friend of ours, Kira, who turned it into what it is, and then it just stuck, and we were just so happy with it. We were like, let's put it on the album on a plain white black background, and put it on everything. It's been great.
Little bit of a story for you. When we were originally trying to think of a logo, we were very unimaginative, and this guy that our old bass player knew kind of came up with this very simple 3-prong thing that was like a gutter with fire in it. And then I can't remember who it was, if it was you, Az, or Clay, who, like, someone turned it upside down, and we're like, oh, it looks like a rooster, like a doomcock. Like, and we were like, oh yeah. And so then we edited a little bit, and it was like this very basic sort of symbol version of like the rooster. But then when we gave that idea to Kira, she just went knocked it out of the park.
I really don't think it was anything until we gave it to Kira, to be honest. That was where it really
but the
really
idea of
drew life from there.
Yeah. But the idea of the Doomcock kind of just came by turning a very unimaginative logo idea upside down, literally, and developing it from there.
And is the whole animal cover theme something you're going to keep exploring as you go down? You're going to come up with something different for each one?
Who knows? We are yet to work that one out. So I have a feeling there could be a change. We might kill off the Doomcock, but who knows? Who knows? We don't know yet.
Bring in the Doom Crab or the Doom Squirrel.
And you're saying that you've finished about 7 songs towards the next album yet. So those songs that you finished, what direction are they taking? Is it the same sort of stuff as was on Chill, or are you you found a bit of a different sound with all your touring and stuff?
Yeah, it's funny.
Um,
We sorry, as we all have
No, you go.
different ideas and different opinions, and sometimes we're thinking completely different things about the same thing, but we're all on the same page. It's strange how it works. So like we might give different opinions on where we think it's headed, but we're all on the same page with where it is headed, whatever we think of that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, not really, but okay.
I was just going to add, really, it's an evolution of our sound. I think. I think we're really moving in. It's got those similar themes of the doomy kind of rock, the desert rock sort of stuff, bit of heavier side, but it's like we're taking it forward to a new level, and the songs are a lot better, and I think we're more mature. I think we know each other better as players, and we know what each other adds, so we're writing to get the best out of each other, I think. And one of the things we've always done in this band is everybody writes and contributes something. So we do have some more predominant writers, but everybody writes, and I think that's really important. And it keeps those creative juices going, and then we pick the best songs at the end of the day, the best songs that suit each other on the record. So that's what we'll be doing again.
And I think I've said before with this album, the first album was a little more diverse, and we were just sort of throwing stuff at the wall to figure ourselves out. Now that we've managed to go more extreme in every direction, but make it sound more cohesive, which probably sounds counterintuitive, but it sounds more like us. We've figured out who we are, even though it's more punk and it's more doom and it's more, like we've figured out how to tie all those ends together in a more cohesive package.
And are you going to start?
Songs are just better.
Are you going to start slowly introducing them into the set list and see if people notice and see what people think of it?
Yeah, well, yeah, we already have.
You guys.
I mean, the whole COVID situation, particularly going back to 2020 with the lockdowns, we were lucky enough to keep really writing through that period, whereas a lot of bands kind of shut up shop. We just kept writing. So we actually have been introducing songs slowly into the set, bit by bit. But, at the moment, gosh, I don't know, we've probably got 3 or 4 of those new songs in the set. So, and we got another new one that's being introduced for next week's shows. That's much more recent, clearly.
Yeah. In terms of songs that aren't on the first album, there's 4 or 5 in the set that we're about to play for these next shows.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, before we let you go, I've started 3 new Spotify playlists made up of songs from people that I speak to. So using your own songs, give me one for the playlist that gets you ready to party, one for the playlist that could save your marriage, and one for the playlist that could potentially end your marriage.
Well, I might jump in first. I think one to get you partying is definitely "This Is Fine." So I think that's my contribution to this one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's any very nice songs to help your marriage. I think oh man, Jaws of the Universe at least would be one to dance at your wedding party too. It might not make you get married, but it'll get you dancing a few beers in.
One that could potentially end your marriage.
Ooh, probably Bonfire.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Pretty intense song.
Well, I shall add those to the playlist tonight, guys. But in the meantime, thanks very much for your time.
Excellent.
We've got a whole heap of shows coming up. If people want to find out about them, where do they go?
Gutterfire.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, although you won't find any gig information there. But really, Facebook and our Instagram is the best place to keep up on it. Although if you want to buy tickets, go to Gutterfire.com.